This is Kirby Dean, Director of Parks and Rec in Rockingham County. And today I'm going to be putting together a quick, short video on the fundamentals of shooting in the sport of basketball. Hopefully I will put this together and then I want to send it out to several other people in the area, and I'm hoping that some other folks may do the same thing, put together a video for us on some area that they may have some expertise, and then we will post these on our website and on our Facebook at the rec department, and hopefully folks can use those during this time when we're still can't get out and about like we normally would. Couple quick disclaimers. First of all, you can have a perfect jump shot. It can look like the most beautiful thing you've ever seen, and it still may not guarantee that you're going to be a great shooter. And vice versa, you could have the worst looking shot ever and you could still be a great shooter, because I've seen it go both ways. The question comes up, are shooters made or are shooters born? And my answer to that, to both of those, is yes. Some people are just born with an innate ability to put that basketball in the hoop, and some others are just such hard workers and such grinders that they spend so much time in the gym honing their fundamentals that they end up being good shooters even if they maybe weren't born into it. I will say this though, if you're going to play the percentages, if you want to give yourself the best chance you can give yourself to be the best shooter that you can possibly be, then you want to be as fundamentally sound as you can possibly be. So I'm going to go over the basic fundamentals as quickly as I can, and then after that I'm going to give you a few drills. I'm going to bring my daughter into the equation. I'm going to let her help me demonstrate some drills that you could do at home during this time, and some of them won't even involve a hoop. Some of them, if you have a basketball, you will be able to do some of the drills that I will give you. And then if you have a basket, then that will expand the horizons of some of the things that you'll be able to do based on some of the drills that I'll give you. So let's get started on the basic fundamentals of the shot. You can go all the way back to when I was taught how to shoot, and I'm 50 years old now, and BEEF was the acronym that was often used, and it still is relevant today. So I'm going to use that to go through what BEEF means and what it's to remind you of in terms of shooting, but then I'm going to add some pieces to that as well. BEEF, B-E-E-F, the first is balance, and the balance comes from your base. And your feet, you got to have a good base when you shoot the ball. Now, it's taught two different ways. Some people teach that your feet are dead straight, going right at the basket where you're shooting. And then you have this kind of new wave group of folks that'll say turn your feet a little bit to the side. Well, I'm old school, and I'm more comfortable if I have my feet going straight forward. The second thing is, in most cases, and some of this comes down to your personal preference, but in most cases, you want your strong foot, you know, whichever hand you shoot with, whichever is your strong foot, to be a little bit forward and ahead of the other. So you're staggered just a little bit. Not anything like this, but just enough so that your back foot probably lands up with about halfway on your front foot. And then you want to have a good solid base a little bit more than shoulder width apart. I've seen a few people that shoot with their feet in here. That's hard to have balance if you do that. So you want to get your feet just a little bit more than shoulder width apart. You got your strong foot a little bit forward, and in my opinion, you have your toes pointing right at your target. There may be some other folks that'll turn just barely, and they think that frees their shoulders up to get square a little bit more. Whatever's most comfortable for you is what I would say you would go with. So that's balance, okay? The second is your eyes. Obviously, your eyes are going to be on the target. Some people say shoot for the front of the rim. Some people say shoot for the back of the rim. Personally, I never really discerned between the two. I just tried to shoot right for the middle of the basket. I was never a great shooter myself, but I had numerous players play for me who were great shooters. And some of them aimed for the front, some of them aimed for the back, some of them went for the middle. I think that's a personal preference as well. So you got your balance, you got your eyes on the target. And then the next one is, and this is more than just your elbow. The next E stands for elbow, but I believe there's more to it than just your elbow. I think in a perfect world, you want your toe, your knee, your hip, your elbow, and your hand to all be in one line. If you can be perfectly in one line right there, and you got the ball, the elbow, the hip, the knee, and the foot, that is a really good place to start from as far as developing a really good shot. So you got your balance, you got your eyes on the target, you got your elbow in, but you also have your foot, your knee, your hip, and your hand all lined up, okay? Now, different people will have their spot here will be different for different people. Personally, I like to put it right below my right eye because I shoot off that right eye, and I like to have my left hand kind of matching up with my nose. So I'm kind of right in here, okay? Now, I'm not going to call that a shooting pocket, and I'll tell you why. There's two different philosophies. Some people teach get that thing in the shooting pocket and let it go. I don't like the terminology shooting pocket because that indicates that you're going to stick it in the pocket and it's going to stop there. And if you get in the habit of stopping right here and putting it in the pocket, it's going to slow down your shot and it's going to be harder for you to get that shot off in a game situation. I would rather go with shooting path. I think you have a shooting path. So I think you got your balance, you got your eyes, you got your elbow, and then your shooting path is once you initiate your shot, you move right through. You go right through that path. You don't get in the pocket, you catch it, you get it here, and you go right through. Shoot it right through. All right? So you got your balance, you got your eyes, you got your elbow, your foot, your knee, your hip, all hand, all lined up in one, and the last is the follow through. Obviously, you got to snap the wrist. Okay? Some people shoot and it goes kind of just arches in the air. All right? Some people, but if you want it to really get that good backspin, the backspin that you put on the ball by flexing your wrist makes the shot softer, gives it a better chance that if it's not a perfect strip, it still has an opportunity to bounce around, has a better opportunity to bounce around and go in. Okay? So you have your balance. You got your eyes on the target. You got your feet pointed towards the target. You got your foot, your knee, your elbow, your hand, your hip, all in one line. And then when you release the ball, you snap that wrist and follow through just like so to hopefully create that really good backspin on the ball. To hopefully create that really good backspin. Guide hand has got to not be involved with the shot. Okay? If you shoot with two hands, that's going to be bad news. All right? There's a point where right when you got the guide hand on, and right when you're about to release, it comes off just for a split second, and the right hand, or the shooting hand, I should say, is the dominant hand. All right? So you're here, you go through that shooting path. Right when you're getting ready to release, that hand comes off. Okay? Couple other things. You got to get good arch on your shot. And the way I've always described this to my players, and it's kind of fallen out of favor because nobody knows what I'm talking about now, so I have to explain it to them. I always tell my players to shoot like you're shooting out of a phone booth. Now, you folks probably don't even know what a phone booth is, but I'm going to show you. That's an old school phone booth, okay? It's a little chilly out here and the wind's blowing, all right? And what I like to tell my players that I've coached over the years is pretend you're in that phone booth, and the only opening in that phone booth is out the very top. Out the ceiling. You can only shoot it out the top. So that, if you think in that term, then you're going to be shooting out of that phone booth. You're going to be going out, up and out, instead of going forward like that and shooting a flat shot. Okay? If you're in the phone booth and it's plexiglass in front and on both sides and in the back, and the only opening is out the top, then that makes you think about going straight up, out. Now you obviously can't shoot straight up in the air. There's got to be some trajectory towards the basket, but you definitely want to get good height on it. And if you think shooting out of the phone booth, I think that'll help you to develop a shot that'll have the kind of arch that'll give you the best chance for that to go in. Let me share two other thoughts with you. This is for our younger shooters, all right? My daughter this year, in playing 6th grade travel ball, she made 3 or 4 threes during the year. And when she made them, I cringed. Because I know that her making a three makes her want to shoot more threes. And it's not a good shot for her right now because she's not strong enough to shoot it with this exact perfect form that we are talking about. Okay? So what I want to say to you is don't get hung up with shooting outside of what your range is. If you got to get to a point where you're shooting the ball and you have to go here to get it up there, okay, or you have to heave it, then you're not helping yourself even if those shots are going in. I'll give you a great example. Chris Jenkins, who played for Villanova, who hit the game winner against Carolina 2 years ago. During that game, they were talking about his mom was a basketball coach. She taught him how to shoot. And she wouldn't allow him to shoot outside of, I believe it was 15 feet until he was in 8th grade. Okay? Now, he ends up being a guy that makes a three from about 5 foot behind the line to clinch a national title for Villanova. And I think one of the reasons he became such a great shooter is because he didn't get hung up on how far back he was shooting at a young age. He probably didn't get hung up on making all the shots. All right, I'm going to talk about frustration in just a second. He spent more time worrying about the form, not the result. All right, but the form. And if you keep working the form when you're young, if you got that good balance, if you got your eyes on the target, if you got that elbow tucked in and everything in one straight line, okay? If you got that good follow through, if you take that guide hand off the ball, and if the ball comes off your second and third fingers, those are the last two to touch it on the release, then I think eventually, whether you make shots when you're 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old or not, if you keep working those fundamentals, I think eventually you'll be a great shooter. One other thing, I mentioned the word frustration a minute ago. I'll give you another example of a great player who talked about shooting and what frustration does to you. Kobe Bryant, the late great Kobe Bryant, he used to say that every time you shoot and miss, if you get frustrated about it, if you have bad body language, if you can tell that you're upset about it, then the next time you shoot within that game, the rim gets a little bit smaller. And if you miss that one and you get frustrated, the rim gets a little bit smaller. And every time you get frustrated about missing a shot, the rim shrinks just a little bit more. So what does that tell you? Don't get frustrated. Focus on the fundamentals. Focus on shooting correctly. All right? And if you do that and you keep doing it and you repeat it time and time and time and time again, and you get in the gym and you grind, or you get out in your driveway and grind, you're going to have a chance to hopefully at some point develop into a really good shooter. Okay, now I'm going to spend just a few minutes here. I'm going to pull my daughter in, Macy, here, and we're going to work on just a couple basic drills that you could do at home to hopefully improve your ability to shoot the basketball. One thing I forgot to cover in the previous fundamental session, and I think it's important, so I want to back up real quick before we do the drills and say that when you shoot, we don't want people shooting off their palms, all right? You have a tendency, some people have a tendency to get that ball down in there on their palm. That's got to be up on your fingertips. You should be able to see a little bit of space between the ball and your hand. And if you're looking at it from the back side, from the side that I'm on, I'm looking through between my thumb and my index finger, and if I can't see any light at all, if it's dark there, that's not good. But if I got a little bit of room there where I can squeeze a finger through, now I'm shooting the ball off those fingertips to get that good backspin rather than pushing it off my palm. And now I have Macy Dean here with me, my daughter, and she's going to help me do a couple drills that hopefully you can do at home that might improve your shooting. The first one we're going to do is just on your back shooting. Go ahead and lay down, Mace. Okay. Got a ball right there. I'm going to help her with this, although she could do it by herself if she's good enough. I'm going to stand right here. She's got that elbow tucked in. She's got her foot, her knee, her hip, her elbow, and her hand, and the ball all in one line. And she's going to do some one-arm shooting. She's just going to flick and get that good follow-through. Good. Good follow-through. Here we go. Again. Flick it. Get that good follow-through. Getting good rotation on the ball. Okay? Good. Perfect. One more. One more. Now, if you're good, you can do that by yourself. You don't even need somebody to catch it. So hopefully people can do that without even having another partner with them. Now, we're going to continue with the one-arm theme. I'm a big believer in one-arm shooting to develop your skill set. All right? Come here, Mace. We're going to show you another one. This is another one that you can do off the back side of the backboard. Come right here. Okay? She's going to do one-arm shooting. She's going to have her foot, her knee, her hip, her elbow all in one line, and she's going to shoot it off the side of the backboard. Go ahead, Mace. Almost. All right, backboard shooting. Okay, one-arm backboard shooting. We're going to line up perfectly with the backboard. Boom. If you hit it square off that little backboard, the ball will come back to you. The backboard's only about that wide, so it makes you really focus on keeping your foot, your hip, your hand, your elbow, all in one line as she's releasing the ball. Ball's releasing off of her fingertips. She's getting that good backspin. Good, it's all right. Let's do a couple more so we can. All right, she's got her foot, knee, hip, elbow, hand, all in one line, lined up with the backboard. Perfect. Going straight off that backboard. One more. Straight off that backboard. Not bad at all. Okay, now come over here real quick. In case you don't have a backboard or a rim at home. You can do this anywhere, but clear it with your parents first. Don't shoot off the side of your house unless your parents say it's okay. I don't want to get in trouble with them. There's a crack about 10 foot up in our hardy plank, and I'm going to have her do one-arm shooting. She's going to line right up with the hardy plank and shoot it the next one up. I want to shoot it the one higher, so you're shooting out of that phone booth. All right? Not bad. Not bad. Get that good flexion on the wrist. Get the good flexion on the wrist. Good. Now, get that. You got the hand, the elbow, the hip, the knee, and the foot all in one plane. You got a little bit of space between the ball and your palm. You're going to shoot that thing off your fingertips, and you're going to snap that wrist off. Perfect. Perfect. One more. One more. Perfect. And she's hitting the little crack in the hardy plank perfect every time. Good. That's another one that you can do at home. All right, now let's come out. Let's do some partner shooting. If you have a partner, we can do some partner shooting. We do this one all the time in practice. We're going to start off on one knee, okay? I'm going to shoot off of this knee. All right? This is partner shooting, And what we want to do is we want to have, again, I'm emphasizing getting that line going with your foot and your knee, your hip, your elbow, and your hand. All right, we're all right here. All right, I might even go down and touch my elbow to my knee just to remind me. I'm doing one hand shooting out of the phone booth. Perfect follow through, trying to get that good backspin. All right, touch that knee, coming straight up through. Good. Just get it up a little bit more. Try to get a little bit more on it. Okay, we're here. We touch our elbow where everything's in a perfect line. Boom, straight up out of the phone booth. Straight up out of that phone booth. Shoot it out of the phone booth. There you go. There you go. One more for each of us, okay? Boom, right there. Perfect. Okay? Good. Perfect. All right? Now we can stand up and we can do the very same thing, okay? We can get apart from each other and we can do the very same thing. I got my good balance, got my feet a little bit more shoulder width apart, got my toes pointing towards the target. All right, balance, eyes, elbows follow through. I'm here, I'm still doing one hand. All right, I'm here, I flex my knees to get a good base and get my power on the shot from my legs. Always get the power on your shot from your legs so you don't have to try to put so much into your arms. Okay, you're here, boom, straight through. Perfect, little higher, okay, a little higher. You ready? A little bit higher. Good, one more. Good. It's a good one. All right, good. All right, that's partner shooting, okay? All right, now we're going to do form shooting. We're going to do it with one arm. We're still on one arm. Everything we're doing, we can migrate to two arms. Every single drill we've done can at some point be two arms, but initially we're doing just one, just a strong hand, okay? Good. Same thing. Good follow through. Get that good spin. Good. Flip off your side of your hand just a little bit. You want to shoot it off your index and your third finger. There you go. One more. Good. Now take a step back. Now if we go to two arms, okay, now we're doing our regular form shooting, all right? Good. Creeper. Good. Not bad. Good. Alright, this is one of the last drills we'll do. This one's a little bit more advanced. All it's working on is trying to get you to get a good base and get solid underneath yourself to go right into your shot. And you're trying to develop some rhythm, so you're going right into your shot. It's called circle shooting. We're just dribbling around the cone, just backing right around it. Now we get our feet set and right into our shot. Easy as pie. All right, Mace? Get your feet set right into it. Good. One more, one more, one more, one more. Get your feet set right into it, all one motion. Good. All right. Last one. This one we'll call shuffle shooting. All right. All we're going to do on shuffle shooting is we're going to go along the foul line, which we don't have it marked, but you get the idea. Okay. And we're doing real short shuffles with our feet, just real short shuffles as we're going along the line. Then all of a sudden, boom, we get our feet set and we go right into our shot. Okay. Get our feet set and go right into our shot. Get your feet set. Good. Creeper. Good. One more. One more. Now get your feet set. Step right in. Good. Plant. Solid. Good. Perfect. All right. Well, that's the fundamentals of shooting. A few basic drills. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're staying safe. I hope you're staying healthy. And I hope that we find cures and vaccines sooner rather than later so that we can all get back together. God bless you.
Thanks for watching!